time for Around the Ozarks in 5, brought to you by Adventure Cave Tours. Live a day in the life of a real adventurer with Adventure Cave Tours. Springfield Green County Park Board, reminding you to go play. Blue Current, moving you forward since 1929. Roto-Rooter Plumbing and Drain Service. Call Southwest Missouri's best plumber today for a free estimate. Here are your hosts, Ethan and Sarah Foreheads.
Good Tuesday morning to you. Hope you're having a great day so far. You're probably just getting it started, but I don't know. Maybe some people listen at the end of the day or in the middle of the day. So regardless of when you're listening or watching, thank you and good morning for us.
Yes, here we are. We will start with some news. A man's body was discovered in a landfill last week in Lamar, Missouri, which is Barton County. It was that of 47-year-old Manuel Gomez. No word yet on how he died or how he wound up there. Authorities, of course, are investigating that. Some panicked parents yesterday, for a brief time at least, after a traffic crash involving a Springfield public school bus. 35 kids were on board and a handful reported minor injuries. It happened after school at the intersection of South Campbell and Plainview Road. So a very busy intersection right there. No word exactly on what went wrong, but again, only minor injuries to report.
Well, that's good because, man, that does freak you out. If you're a parent and you hear that, or even from our decades of news experience, whenever you hear a school bus is involved in something, it immediately, when you hear it on the scanner, it immediately gets your attention.
Yes.
And you send people to find out what it was.
Yeah. And honestly, typically they are pretty minor incidents because of the way the seats are built. You know, you fly into that seat in front of you and you don't go far, fortunately.
Well, and most school buses aren't going at a high rate of speed on an interstate or anything. It's mostly local travel. So glad everything's okay in this situation with some minor injuries. Missouri Governor Mike Parson is drawing criticism from both sides of the aisle after reducing the sentence of former Kansas City Chiefs assistant coach Britt Reed. He, of course, the son of Chiefs head coach Andy Reid. That drunk driving crash permanently injured and affected a 5-year-old girl, left her with traumatic brain injury. 5-year-old girl. Britt Reed crashed his truck into 2 cars on an exit ramp near the Chiefs practice facility back in February of 2021. 6 people injured in total. The 5-year-old little girl, Ariel Young, was in a coma for 11 days. Reed pleaded guilty and was sentenced to 3 years in prison, but over the weekend, Governor Parson reduced that sentence to house arrest until October of 2025.
I was actually shocked.
Didn't go over well, with some people. And I read
with a lot of people, I mean, including the fact that he apparently did not reach out to the victim's family before announcing that publicly. It's surprising to me, really.
Yeah, it doesn't.
I mean, I know him. I feel like I know the governor, and I was like, wow, that's really surprising.
Yeah, I was surprised by that as well. And certainly surprised that there was, according to the report that I read, no contact with the victim's family at all prior to. So we'll see. There's been no comment since then, so we'll see if and when there is. Meanwhile, Missouri State University has a new president, Richard Biff Williams. Biff is his nickname, which is fantastic.
I like it. B-I-F-F. Biff.
Yeah, Biff. I'm guessing right out of the chute that he is going to be the most successful Biff I've ever known or heard of.
Because of his nickname, I have a feeling that the students are going to love him.
Well, he's off to a good start in my book. But Biff, you remember Biff from Back to the Future. He was a ne'er-do-well.
No, actually.
I remember totally... Biff in Back to the Future?
He's in the decade younger than you. Come on.
You've seen Back to the Future. We watched it with the kids.
I fell asleep. Can we please?
I apologize, everybody. I apologize.
Stay married. I just love you so much. I do. I just think
sometimes I don't know what's going to come out of her mouth. But in her defense, she does fall asleep with every single movie we've ever watched.
That's why I want to go for a walk or a hike, maybe a bike ride. I don't know.
Back to the Future was one.
Walk the dog, sit on a swing outside. These are things that will keep me awake.
Back to the Future is one you should have watched as a teenager. Anyway.
Okay. Moving on. Biff
let's get back
is the
to
man
story.
for the job.
Let's get back to the story. Can we do that? Biff Williams will be president for the next 5 years. President Biff. He will succeed Cliff Smart, who's been Missouri State's president since 2011, as you'll recall. And Williams was the unanimous choice. So he made a real impact on the board as they voted for him. He's been president at Utah Tech University for the last 10 years. Utah Tech. He will start at Missouri State July 1st, making almost $500,000 a year, $475,000.
Yep. All right. Good for him. I'm excited to meet him. The Supreme Court ruled on Monday that states cannot remove former President Donald Trump from the 2024 ballots. You will know that a handful of Democratic states were trying to do that, ban him from being on the ballot. But the decision was made yesterday. Very rare also because in a very divided court, the decision in Trump's favor was unanimous. All 9 justices agreed that states do not have the power to determine who runs for office. Now, those against President Trump running were trying to invoke a Civil War era clause stating that someone accused of an insurrection could not run. Here's what is interesting. The disqualification clause from the 1800s was aimed to keep former Confederate civil and military office holders from returning to serve in the government that they fought to overthrow.
Interesting.
I guess some people know that. Some people know that, but like some people don't. Like, where did this all start? Where did this come from? That's where it came from.
Well, I mean, I think a couple of things made this a slam dunk. I mean, whenever you have all 9 justices agreeing on something in this court, it was never even a case to begin with. And what was shocking to me in this is that the states made this call, but he's never been accused in a court of law of what they say should keep him out of office, this insurrection thing or being a traitor or whatever it is. He's never been charged with anything related to that. So it felt very political just the whole time to me.
Right. But I mean, I do love the American justice system because regardless, like we said, a divided court, but they still all agree.
Correct.
And it's the letter of the law, which is why our law is beautiful. It's not perfect, but it's beautiful.
It's the best there is.
It's the best there is. It's why everybody else looks toward us to come up with their own rules. If your throat is scratchy, like mine is, it could be allergies, perhaps. The Springfield Greene County Health Department says pollen is in the air primarily right now from juniper trees. Also pollen from grasses, trees, weeds most often cause allergies. For now, the department will continue doing that pollen count until we get our next heavy frost, which hopefully won't be
Don't say it. Don't say it. Don't say it.
Next fall or winter. What? I didn't jinx it. That's not a jinx. You're going to
jinx it.
I didn't jinx it. I don't even believe
if we get a frost,
jinxing.
This is going to be replayed.
Move on.
This is going to be replayed if we get a frost, is all I'm
sorry
saying.
My phone's ringing so early. It's apparently the CDC National Immunity Hotline. That's literally what it says. CDC.
Well, how about not answer it?
I didn't.
Okay.
Don't worry.
Clear Creek Golf Car and Vehicles, not golf cart, golf car and vehicles based in Ozark is expanding yet again. We just did a story about them expanding a couple of weeks ago. Well, it's expanding again, buying up more territory from what used to be a competitor. With the latest deal and a couple of other recent deals that we just told you about, Clear Creek will have 11 locations now in Missouri, Kansas, Arkansas, and Oklahoma.
He still says Missouri. To my knowledge, he's never running for political office, to my knowledge. But I feel like that is the clip that's going to keep replaying whenever he's trying to be a good old boy, a
man of the people.
Man of the people.
A new market that they're going to be moving into is Wichita, Kansas, which is good for them. So congratulations to Clear Creek Golf Car and Vehicles. They're moving on up, man.
Go Ozark, go.
And then on the opposite side of this, an indoor axe throwing company is shutting down. Tommy Hawk's Axe House says it's closing at the end of March, the end of this month. Veteran-owned business opened in 2016 with tomahawks, eventually became an indoor axe throwing venue. So you hate to see any business shut down, but I feel like...
Especially one that's owned by a veteran.
Yes, absolutely. I feel like the axe throwing, that was really popular for a while. And maybe it's not anymore. I don't know.
Yeah. All right. The latest numbers are in for Missouri's unemployment rate. Last month, unemployment was at 3.3%. Industries that saw gains in jobs include professional and business services, financial activities, and leisure and hospitality. Trade jobs, however, as well as transportation jobs, utilities, private education, and health services jobs were all down in numbers. All right. On Wednesday, here is a fun plan for you. If you don't have one, the midweek matinee is showing at the Galois, and the movie of choice, Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
You've seen this one, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Does it have the... Oh my gosh, I'm going to be wrong about this.
Oh Lord, don't say.
So I'm not even going to say it.
Don't even say it.
What's the proverb about just keeping your mouth shut and not exposing your ignorance?
I didn't think you ever heard that one.
You're so mean. You're so mean.
I kid because I love.
I know. I do love you. And I think you're hilarious. It's fine. Anyway, if you want to go see Ferris Bueller's Day Off, Wednesday is the day at the Galois. There you go. It's happening from 2 to 4. And they have really good deals. For $10, you can get a combo with a ticket, the popcorn, and a drink for $10. That's not bad. And here's even better if you're old, 60 plus.
Older. Let's go with older.
I knew you were going to correct me on that. You know why? Because you're getting close, right? Greene,
it's not as old as it used to be.
County senior citizens who are 60 plus, they can get a free combo ticket with proof of ID. There you go.
So you have to prove that you're older because they can't tell by looking at you.
That's the truth.
They can't tell by looking at you.
You know what's funny is actually that is the truth. That is the truth. That they cannot tell by looking at you.
People these days seem younger than they used to be. They look younger than they used to be. I think they certainly dress younger, many of them, than they used to.
I saw a mutual friend of ours. I won't say him by name because I don't want to embarrass him, but he had on these new glasses the other day, like seeing eye glasses, not sunglasses. And they were really trendy frames. And I was like, I didn't say it out loud because I didn't feel appropriate, but I thought to myself, he looks a decade younger with those frames.
Just with the
I really thought that. Yeah, just the frames. They were very fashionable.
You got to try to stay current. I do.
Meanwhile, we went to a restaurant over the weekend with the girls and Griff, I guess, was there also. But it was funny because Ethan was like holding the menu like this. And then he was like this. And then he was like this. And then like it was just... And he just couldn't get it. So finally he throws it in front of me and he's like, babe, read the menu. So I had to, I ordered for him.
Because up close, I can't see anything. So it's all from a distance. And even then, if it's dark in the restaurant, I can't see squat. And if I forget my reading glasses, this is where I am. This is where I am in life.
You know what? No, all I'm saying is maybe you need some really fashionable frames.
Well, are those not good enough? Is this not what you're talking about?
No matter what. Let's be honest.
Oh, well, isn't that sweet?
It is.
Okay.
There you go. That's all we got.
So Ferris, I might just go see Ferris Bueller's Day Off. I mean, that'd be fantastic. I love that movie.
If you had your old schedule, you'd absolutely go. But
sit in the seat that Elvis. Sit in the seat that Elvis sat in.
Of course.
I know which one that is.
I know. I remember the stand-up.
Uh-huh.
I do.
So cool. That's a fantastic afternoon, if you ask me. And popcorn, my favorite snack.
Yes. Especially movie theater popcorn.
Oh, that's the best.
Yeah.
Hands down. Down. All right. Hey, thank you for tuning in today. Hope you have a fantastic Tuesday. And we will see you back here on Wednesday.
Bye.
It's time for Around the Ozarks Wake Up Weather, sponsored by Scooters Coffee and Rescue Towing. Here's your host, meteorologist Abby Dyer.
Good morning, everyone. It is Tuesday, March 5th, and many of us are waking up rain-free after some showers and thunderstorms developed overnight in the Ozarks. A few of those lingering showers still out in the eastern counties. And yes, a few of them still have the potential to be on the strong side. The main threats out of these, gusty winds and some hail in some of the strongest cells. They are few and far between, though, and most are staying dry this morning. We've got temperatures starting out in the 50s, so it's not too cold. Cold front came through, and now we are going to be dealing with cooler conditions as we round out the rest of the day today. Overall, we are talking about a cooler pattern and unsettled weather a couple different times this week. Of course, the rain that came through last night and early this morning being part of that. Really, I expect in large part today and tomorrow are dry. You're just going to notice a bit of a cool down, and now that the cold front is through, a north wind is with us. It's not too strong today, not nearly as gusty as it was yesterday, but it will mean that temperatures today only make it to about 65, opposed to the upper 70s that we had around on Monday. I expect that we see the shower and thunderstorm chances even east of the Springfield area come to an end by mid-morning. It's unsettled for much of the country today, all in association with this cold front, really kind of the eastern half of the country experiencing some unsettled weather. Rain, thunderstorm chances developing down to the south and off on the East Coast. And the West Coast is finally getting a bit of a break today. The winds calm down for us today. I mentioned that bit of a cool down that will be moving through for us. We're starting this morning out in the low 50s as of 5 a.m., but we'll only warm to about 65. That's still above average for this time of year, but it's certainly cooler than what we've become accustomed to over the last couple of days, with temperatures approaching near record territory. I have another chance for rain and storm activity to develop in the Ozarks. That happens again by Thursday and Friday. But really, I think for the rest of the day today and including tomorrow, we are going to remain rain-free in the Ozarks. And I even have partial sunshine that breaks through both days, so it'll end up feeling rather nice outside. But a light jacket would probably serve you well both today and tomorrow. We've got potential for rain to move back into the region as we head into Thursday and Friday. I expect that we see a good chance for rain, maybe close to an inch of moisture by the time we get to Thursday and Friday's rain chances. That would be great. As you know, the last couple of weeks, we've been talking about these critical fire weather conditions. So if we can get some moisture on the ground, that will mitigate the next best chance for the fire weather conditions to develop. And it looks like we will have a pretty good shot at a couple of rainy days here as we round out the work week forecast. Really, I think today is going to remain rain-free once we get rid of the showers that are on the radar this morning that are mainly south of I-44. We'll see the temperatures climb back up into the mid-60s today. A few 70s are possible, though. And then it will be a bit cooler tonight with lows falling back into the mid-40s for the start of the day on Wednesday morning. I think we mainly stay rain-free on Wednesday, too, with high temperatures climbing into the upper 60s. And then we've got temperatures that are a bit cooler again for Thursday and Friday, with a really good chance for rain both Thursday and Friday. I'm thinking they look like soggy days in the forecast before things dry up a little bit more for the weekend numbers. Around the country, what's making headlines, all the winter weather out in the Sierra Nevadas and the higher elevations on the West Coast, starting to see a bit of relief. Winter impacts finally easing in the west. We also have rain and storm chances all across the south today. Those will be marching off to the east coast as we head into tonight. And then in Hawaii, a lot of rainfall, allowing for a flood threat to develop. So if you know anybody out on the Hawaiian Islands, you may want to give them a call. There is going to be a threat for flooding there as we head into today and the remainder of Wednesday. I expect that we see conditions that are pretty calm through the morning hours, and it's going to be a pretty nice day in the Ozarks, 65, that high temperature here in Springfield with a north wind 5 to 10 miles an hour. All right, here's a look at that around the Ozarks wake up weather brain twister question. This is what I left you with yesterday. A little bit of airport knowledge here. Which major U.S. commercial airport has the shortest runway? The options that I gave you were A, John Wayne Airport, B, Hilton Head Island Airport, C, Key West International, or D, Washington Reagan National Airport. Well, if you guessed B, you would be correct. And if you have flown into Hilton Head Airport, You may know this. It is on the southern coast of South Carolina, a big vacation destination, and it is the smallest runway served by airliners in the United States. Not only is the runway only 5,000 feet long, but its width is a mere 100 feet, which is nearly 50 to 100 feet narrower than a standard airline use runway. Pilots have to be ready for this one. The runway has displaced thresholds on both ends due to the close proximity of the tree lines. It reduces the availability of landing distance for 4,703 feet on the runway. So it requires a talented pilot to air if you are heading to Hilton Head. Just a big heads up for you. By the way, all of the options on the list, Key West, John Wayne Airport, both very short as well. John Wayne, 5,700 feet, and Washington Reagan also. If you've flown into that one, it's kind of freaky. It deserves an article dedicated solely to it because it has a very unique approach that you must take getting into that airport. The runway, 5,204 feet long, but Hilton Head Island Airport takes the cake. So congrats if B was your guess yesterday. All right, here is the question that I will leave you with for tomorrow. What do fire escapes, windshield wipers, and circular saws all have in common? Do you think that they were all invented in the 1900s? B, all were invented in Pennsylvania? C, all were invented to help first responders? Or D, all were invented by women? Fire escapes, windshield wipers, and circular saws. Let me know your guess. You can do that at aroundtheozarks.com. You can also get the forecast up to the minute all day long, every single day. That's over at the website. So make sure you check it out and enter the contest. It is free to enter and you could win $20 to Scooters Coffee. Thank you to Scooters and to Rescue Towing for sponsoring Around the Ozarks Wake Up Weather. And thank you so much for listening. If you have been enjoying the podcast, let us know. You can give it a review wherever you find your podcasts.